We tell stories of human. Way, not with artificial voices or AI slop. In the end, what's HFI without? Humanity? Subscribe to keep it this way. My name is Amir Sohal. Let's begin. The galaxy had never seen fear like this. Not since the first great extinction events, billions of years ago, when entire species vanished in the blink of an eye. And yet, somewhere in the dark expanse of space, a council of alien leaders whispered in unease. Their voices, low and tense, echoed to a crystalline chamber, illuminated by holograms, a world aflame and civilizations broken. They survived 5 extinction events, said one, her tone trembling. How is it possible? How can a species keep coming back? Another alien, taller and covered in metallic scales, leaned forward. We underestimated them. They adapt, they endure, and now they're alone, on a small blue planet. Far from the glittering councils of alien politics, humans went about their lives. Cities bustled, children laughed, and people hurried to work. The sun rose over forests and oceans, painting the world in gold and green. Yet, humans felt only a faint shadow of what was coming. They did not know that forces capable of erasing entire species were already moving toward their star system. In a small research station orbiting the planet, Dr. Lina Hartley stared at her screens with growing alarm. Sensors blinked red, showing strange energy readings that no one had ever seen before. This isn't natural, she whispered to herself. Her voice trembled, but she forced herself to remain calm. Something is coming. Something big. Her assistant, a young technician named Marco, looked over her shoulder. Do you think it's another asteroid? He asked nervously. Lina shook her head. No, this is deliberate. Too fast. Too precise. Someone is coming for us. Meanwhile, in the deepest corners of the council chamber, the aliens were not just talking. They were plotting. Their species had conquered countless worlds, destroyed civilizations, and yet humans always survived. The memory of 5 near-extinction events haunted them. It was more than fear, it was disbelief. They are unpredictable, said the scaled alien. They fight when they have nothing, and somehow they survive. Always. Another council member, small and wiry, with multiple glowing eyes, added, This time, we must make sure it is final. No more surviving. No more miracles. Back on Earth, the first sign of the approaching threat reached the night sky. Strange objects, black and moving faster than anything known, appeared at the edges of the solar system. Scientists scrambled to track them. Governments went on alert. In the control room, Lina's voice cut through the panic. Everyone, stay calm. Focus. We need data before we react. But even as she spoke, alarms blared. The objects changed trajectory, aiming straight for the human worlds. Communications networks shivered under unknown signals. It was a code, a warning, a challenge they did not know. Across the planet, military bases mobilized. Ships were launched, missiles readied. Yet the sheer scale of the approaching threat was beyond anything humans had faced before. Panic began to ripple through the cities. People crowded streets, searching for answers, for safety, for hope. Lina and Marco worked frantically. We need to send a message, she said. A warning. To the government, to the fleet. Someone has to know what's coming. But before she could finish, the station sensors picked up a massive wave of energy approaching. It was a signal, a call not from humans, but from the stars. The message was clear. Prepare to fight or perish. Lina's heart raced. Marco, we're not just looking at a threat. We're looking at an invasion. And it's coming now. Across the world, similar warnings appeared. Astronomers, pilots, and scientists all reported the same thing. Something was coming. Something intelligent. Something that had survived countless conflicts with other species. And humans, as fragile as they seemed, were next. In the council chamber, the aliens watched the human reactions on their holographic displays. They feel it, said the scaled alien. They are afraid, but they will try to fight. Do they even understand the cost? Asked the small, wiry alien. The true price of survival? The council debated, but the answer was clear. Humans had never understood the full cost before. Every survival had been painful, bloody, and miraculous. And yet, Somehow, they persisted. On Earth, Lina sent a desperate call. Every channel, every network, every ship in orbit received it. The message was simple, clear, and urgent. Something is coming. Prepare for the fight of your lives. This is not a drill. She looked out the window at the stars. The sky seemed calm, peaceful even. But beyond the visible, the unknown waited. And in that darkness, humans would have to prove, once again, why every species in the galaxy feared them. The first object entered the solar system, massive and dark, like a shadow swallowing the stars. It moved with purpose, with intelligence, scanning for life. Lina and her team monitored it, knowing that humanity's fate hung by a thread. Marco turned to her. Do you think we can survive this? Lina did not answer immediately. She thought of every challenge humans had faced, wars, plagues, natural disasters. Somehow, they had always found a way. Somehow they had survived. She met Marco's eyes. We have to. There is no other choice. The object's shadow darkened the earth below. A hum filled the skies, a low vibration that made the ground tremble. People stopped what they were doing, staring upward. Panic turned into fear, fear into awe. The aliens in the council chamber watched silently. This was the moment of truth. Would humans rise, adapt, and survive again, or would this finally be the end? Back in the research station, Lina activated every defensive system she could. Satellites shifted orbit. Missiles were armed, communications scrambled. Every scientist, every soldier, every civilian who could act prepared for the unknown. And then from the darkness of space, a signal, pure energy, filled with intent, hit the planet. Cities flickered, power grids failed, and for a moment, silence. But humans did not run. Humans did not surrender. They rallied, improvised, and fought back with whatever they had. In the control room, Lina gritted her teeth. This is it. The first strike. Hold everything. We will not go quietly. Above the planet, the alien object hovered, scanning, analyzing. Its presence was terrifying, yet humans stared back with the same determination that kept them alive through 5 extinction events. The desperate call had been made. The battle had begun. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, the Council watched, knowing that history was about to be written, again, by a species they could neither predict nor control. Time slowed. The stars seemed to hold their breath, and humanity waited. For the first time in countless generations, the galaxy would see humans not just survive, but fight. And maybe, just maybe, outlast the darkness that threatened them all. The night sky over Earth was no longer calm. Strange shadows moved between the stars, black shapes faster than anything human eyes could track. Every city trembled as power grids flickered. Satellites wobbled, and alarms screamed across the planet. Humanity had been warned, but the true scope of the threat was only now becoming clear. Dr. Lina Hartley stood at the center of the orbital station, staring at the main screen. Multiple objects, massive and glowing faintly with an otherworldly energy, approached the inner planets. Each one seemed alive, scanning, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment. They're coming, Lina said quietly, and they're not stopping. Marco, still young but sharp, adjusted the tracking controls. Lina, they're splitting into different paths. They're not just attacking one place. They're everywhere at once. Lina's heart sank. This is more organized than anything we've faced. Not random, targeted. Back on the surface, human pilots scrambled into ships, weapons readied. Military commanders barked orders, trying to coordinate with scattered fleets. The first waves of alien objects broke through the outer planetary defenses. Satellites were shredded in seconds. Communication lines burst. Panic gripped the people below. In the orbital station, Lina's team worked frantically. Sensors detected energy shields surrounding the alien vessels, absorbing conventional weapons like raindrops on stone. Missiles fired from Earth's defense grid barely scratched their hulls. They're too advanced, Marco muttered, disbelief in his voice. We're not even slowing them down. Lina's eyes narrowed. Then we fight smarter, not harder. The aliens struck with precision. One enormous ship entered the atmosphere above a major city, moving silently like a predator. In seconds, skyscrapers were flattened, streets swallowed, fires burning in waves. News feeds from around the world transmitted chaos. The destruction was horrifying, yet there was something almost clinical about it. Calculated, efficient, merciless. And yet, humans responded. People ran, hid, helped one another, improvised weapons, and salvaged anything that could give them a chance. Lina coordinated strikes from orbit, directing smaller defense craft, predicting alien movements with whatever data they could gather. Amid the chaos, a small squad of human pilots launched toward one of the alien ships. Their weapons seemed insignificant, but they moved with courage, weaving through fire and debris. The lead pilot, Commander Rajan, knew they wouldn't destroy the ship, but if they could damage sensors or shields, even slightly, it could save thousands below. They're fast, Rajan said over the comm. Too fast for anything conventional. Just keep moving, Lina's voice crackled. Find a weak point. Anything will help. The squad maneuvered carefully, dodging energy pulses that ripped through the air. One pilot managed a close strike, and the alien vessel shuddered. A tiny success. Around the world, humans cheered at the news, small victories lighting hope and despair. But then the real horror began. The aliens deployed smaller craft, swarming cities in waves. These were fast, almost insect-like, and carried weapons that could disintegrate matter instantly. Streets became battlefields. People ran for their lives. Soldiers fired endlessly, but the swarm was overwhelming. In the chaos, Lina noticed something unusual on the tracking screen. The swarm was following a pattern, not random at all. It was almost like the aliens expected humans to react a certain way. They're predicting us, Lina said, gripping the console. They know our tactics. Marco's fingers flew over the controls. But why? Why haven't they just wiped us out yet? Lina paused. They want something. They're testing us, waiting to see how far humans can push before breaking. Far above Earth, the Alien Council observed their actions with cold interest. They resist, said the scaled alien. They're clever but predictable, adaptable but limited. A small, wiry alien, eyes glowing, leaned forward. And yet, every survival surprises me. They always survive. Always. On Earth. The humans suffered losses, yet they fought back in unexpected ways. Civilians rigged makeshift defenses. Scientists improvised energy shields using old satellite tech, and soldiers used guerrilla tactics against the swarm. Every time the aliens destroyed one target, humans were ready with another plan. In the orbital station, Lina's voice carried over every channel. Evacuate civilians to safe zones. Fire only when necessary. We adapt or we die. Remember that. Below, in one city, a group of survivors huddled inside an abandoned building. Among them was a young boy, no older than 12, watching the skies. He whispered to his sister, "Mom said humans always survive. Maybe we can too." And in that simple belief lay humanity's strength, a resilience that no alien calculation could account for. Hours passed like years. Cities burned, fleets clashed, and yet humans continued to endure. Reports came in. Ships that were thought lost returned with new tactics. Soldiers who survived wrote messages for fallen. Scientists discovered weak points in the alien technology, small but critical. Lina realized the first strike, though devastating, had a purpose beyond destruction. It was a test. The aliens were studying human reactions, probing for weaknesses, but also learning how humans think, adapt, and survive. "Marco," Lina said, exhaustion in her voice. "We need to understand their patterns. If we can predict them, maybe we can turn this around." Marco nodded. "But we're running out of time." They're regrouping for another wave. On the surface, the skies grew darker as the main alien fleet adjusted its strategy. Massive vessels aligned into formation, energy shields glowing bright, preparing for a second assault. It was clear the first strike was only the beginning, yet humans were ready. Civilians were evacuated, cities fortified, and fleets prepared to fight in new, unexpected ways. Everywhere, people adapted. Humans were nothing if not survivors. From orbit, Lina watched as one of the alien ships aimed directly for a major human capital. She made a split-second decision. All pilots, focus fire on the energy core. Don't let it reach the city. The pilots responded instantly, weaving through fire and debris. Missiles struck, shields shimmered, and for a tense moment, silence reigned. Then explosion. The ship faltered, tilting, but did not fall. Another success, small but critical. Meanwhile, the council observed, unable to hide a mixture of surprise and frustration. They are persistent, the scaled alien said. Every response, every adaptation, too fast, too clever. The small, wiry alien's eyes narrowed. Perhaps we underestimated them again. Perhaps humans are different. Back on Earth, as the first strike ended, cities smoldered, fleets repaired, and humans took stock of what they had survived. Thousands had been lost, yet the spirit of survival burned stronger than ever. In the orbital station, Lina looked at Marco. This is only the beginning. They'll come back bigger, stronger, smarter, but so will we. Humans always survive. We just have to find the way. Marco swallowed hard. Do you think we can really stop them? Lina smiled faintly, though worry lingered in her eyes. We may not stop them entirely, but we can survive. We will adapt. That is what humans do. The alien fleet regrouped in space, a dark shadow of a planet. Their calculations were precise, their attacks ruthless, but humans had learned something valuable. Survival was never just about strength. It was about intelligence, courage, and the refusal to surrender. And somewhere deep in the galaxy, the Alien Council knew this was only the first strike. Humanity had survived, but how long could they keep surviving against enemies that had conquered countless worlds? As Earth survivors began to rebuild and regroup, a strange signal appeared on Lina's screen. It was faint, almost imperceptible, a pattern, repeating over and over. She leaned closer. It's a map, she whispered. Not of Earth, but of something else. Something hidden. Something waiting for us. Marco looked at her, eyes wide. Do you think it's a trap? Lina shook her head. I don't know, but if it's a clue, we have no choice but to follow it. Humanity survives by facing the unknown. That's what makes us different. The night sky was quiet now, but the stars themselves seemed to tremble with anticipation. The first strike had come and gone, leaving destruction, fear, and a faint glimmer of hope. Humans had survived, but the real test was yet to come. And somewhere, the Alien Council whispered again. They endure. They always endure. How? The first strike had failed to break them. And as humans looked at the stars, they realized that surviving might be the easiest part. The galaxy was full of challenges yet unseen, and humanity would have to face them all. The night after the first strike, Earth breathed, but only just. Cities were scarred, skies still flickered with damaged satellites, and the people who survived carried the weight of what had been lost. Yet, in the silence after the chaos, a deeper mystery stirred. Dr. Lina Hartley sat in the orbital station, staring at the strange signal they had detected at the end of the first strike. It wasn't just a warning or a simple message. It was a pattern, intricate, repeating, almost alive. Her heart raced as she ran calculations and simulations. Marco, she called, eyes glued to the screen. I think it's a map. Marco leaned closer, his brow furrowed. A map? To where? That, I don't know, Lina admitted, but it's pointing to somewhere in the outer solar system. Far beyond our colonies, far beyond anything we've explored. On the ground, governments and military commanders were rebuilding, repairing ships, and retraining pilots. The first strike had been devastating, but it had revealed something important. Humans could fight back, adapt, and survive, even against a technologically superior enemy. Yet Lina couldn't ignore the signal. She knew instinctively that this was not random. The aliens had left something hidden, waiting for humanity to find it. We need to go there, she said firmly. We need to understand it before the next strike. Marco hesitated. But we don't know what it is. It could be a trap. Then it's a trap we have to take, Lina replied. Humans survive by taking risks. That's how we've done it 5 times before. Deep in the asteroid belt, the first human exploration fleet prepared for departure. Ships repaired from the first strike, modified with makeshift technology. carried teams of scientists, soldiers, and explorers. Among them was Lina, determined to find the source of the map. As they traveled deeper into the solar system, strange things began to happen. Sensors detected anomalies, energy readings that defied all known physics, signals that pulsed like living creatures, and faint whispers of communication that couldn't be understood. One night, in the silence of space, Lina stared at the holographic display. A massive object loomed ahead. At first, it looked like a rock, a simple asteroid. But as they approached, the truth became clear. It was an artifact, ancient, immense, and unlike anything humans had ever seen. Its surface glowed with symbols, moving in patterns, almost breathing with energy. "By the stars," Marco whispered. "It's alive?" Lina didn't answer. She was too focused on the artifact. Her instincts told her this was no ordinary technology. It was something left deliberately for humans to find. Something that could change everything. As the fleet moved closer, the artifact activated. Energy pulses shot out, scanning the ships, analyzing humans, and yet not attacking. It was a test, or perhaps an invitation. "We need to understand it," Lina said. "Decipher the patterns, find the purpose. This is our advantage. If the aliens are coming back, we can't fight blind." Inside the artifact, hidden chambers opened. Symbols shifted into readable forms. It was a repository of knowledge, alien design, survival techniques, and weapons technology beyond human comprehension. This is incredible," Marco breathed. "They left this for us?" "Not left, tested," Lina corrected. "They want us to survive, but only if we prove worthy. Only if we can understand the secret." As the team explored the artifact, they uncovered something even more astonishing. There were records of human history, ancient humans, ancestors long gone, interacting with alien technology. Somehow, humans had survived 5 extinction events before, because of knowledge hidden across the galaxy, passed down through cryptic messages and artifacts like this one. "We are not alone in our survival," Lina whispered. "Every time we survived, it wasn't just luck. Someone helped us, or maybe guided us." The artifact also contained warnings, messages about the alien council, about species that had been wiped out, and about the consequences of failing to adapt. Humans were never meant to survive by brute force alone. They were meant to survive with intelligence, creativity, and courage. But as Lina and her team studied the artifact, alarms blared. The alien fleet had returned, larger than before, moving with terrifying precision. The first strike had been a test, but this was no longer a test. It was war. "Lina," Marco shouted. "They're coming, and they're stronger." The fleet approached, energy shields flaring as their vessels prepared for battle. But Lina had a plan. Using the knowledge from the artifact, she activated hidden defense mechanisms in the asteroid belt. Massive energy fields rose, blocking the alien fleet sensors and confusing their targeting systems. "It's working," Marco shouted as the fleet faltered, unable to lock onto the human ships. "They can't see us." But the aliens were relentless. They adjusted, sending scouts to probe the defenses, sending energy pulses that shook the very rocks around the artifact. Inside the fleet, Lina realized something crucial. The artifact contained a weapon, dormant and hidden, capable of turning the tide, but it required understanding, precise timing, and courage. "This is it," she said. "If we can activate the weapon, we can strike back. Not just survive, but fight." The team worked frantically, decoding the artifact's controls, aligning energy nodes, and channeling power. Outside, the alien scouts approached, their ships glimmering with deadly energy. A massive pulse of light shot from the artifact, striking the first alien scout. The ship shuddered, sparks flying, and then it broke apart. Humanity had won its first victory using knowledge, not sheer force. But Lina knew it was only the beginning. The artifact revealed more secrets, paths to other hidden caches, ancient alien tech that humans could use, and clues about the alien council's ultimate plan. "This is bigger than we imagined," she said. "We're not just fighting for survival. We're uncovering the reason humans endure. We're learning why the galaxy fears us." As the fleet prepared to return to Earth with the artifact, Lina looked back at the stars. Somewhere, the alien council watched, observing every human move. They had tested humans, and once again, humans had adapted. They are learning, the scaled alien said, frustration in his voice. Every move, every adaptation, they are stronger than we thought. The small, wiry alien's eyes glowed brighter. Perhaps they are not like other species. Perhaps they are meant to survive. Always. Back on Earth, humanity waited. They did not yet know the full extent of what Lina had discovered. They did not yet understand the ancient secrets hidden in the stars. But hope had returned. Not blind hope, but hope forged in knowledge, courage, and resilience. Lina turned to Marco. The artifact is just the beginning. The aliens will come again, stronger. But now we have something they do not expect. We have the hidden secret. Marco nodded, determination in his eyes. Then we fight smarter next time. And we survive. Outside, the stars glittered, indifferent to the struggles below. Yet in the silence of space, the artifact pulsed, a heartbeat of ancient knowledge, waiting for humanity to unlock its full power. And somewhere, far beyond the edges of known space, the alien council whispered again. They endure. They always endure. How do they do it? The hidden secret had been found. Humanity had survived the first strike. But the galaxy's challenges were far from over. The real test, the one that would push humans to their limits, was still ahead. The sky over Earth was dark with anticipation. Months had passed since the first strike, and humanity had not only survived, they had adapted. Cities were rebuilt, fleets repaired, and the secrets of the artifact had been studied endlessly. Every scientist, every soldier, every civilian had played a part in preparing for what was coming. Dr. Lina Hartley stood in the command center of the orbital station, looking at the holographic display of the approaching alien fleet. Hundreds of massive ships moved with perfect precision, shields glowing like liquid metal. This was not a test. This was the real invasion. Everyone ready? Lina asked, her voice calm but firm. This is it. No second chances. Humans survive because we refuse to surrender. Remember that. Marco, standing beside her, swallowed hard. We've learned so much from the artifact. Do you think it's enough? Lina's eyes narrowed, determination burning. It has to be. It will be. Humanity always survives. Below, on the surface, cities braced for the assault. Civilian fleets were evacuated to hidden orbital stations, and soldiers manned every defense point. Humanity had prepared for everything the aliens could throw at them, but nothing could predict the ingenuity and courage of the human spirit. In the silence of space, the alien council watched. They have adapted again, the scaled alien muttered, but they are still inferior. Their numbers, their weapons, insignificant. The small, wiry alien with glowing eyes shook its head. Insignificant? Perhaps. But they endure. Always. There is something different about them. The first wave of the alien fleet entered the solar system. Energy pulses lit up space like fireworks, striking at the orbital defenses. Earth shook beneath the force. But humans responded with every weapon, every tactic they had learned from the artifact. The fleet split into multiple attack vectors, each aiming at different human strongholds. Missiles streaked through space. Ships dodged with impossible precision, and yet humans held. The artifact had given them strategies and technology beyond what they had ever imagined. Lina's team activated the hidden energy grids within the asteroid belt. Massive force fields arose, bending light and energy, confusing the alien targeting systems. Scout ships sent to probe human positions were obliterated by sudden counterattacks. This is working, Marco shouted. They can't lock on. But the aliens adapted quickly. They unleashed a weapon unlike anything humans had seen, a massive beam of pure energy, slicing through space, aimed directly at Earth's core cities. Panic spread as the first cities began to crumble under the sheer force. Lina didn't hesitate. Deploy the artifact's weapon. Now! Across the fleet, teams synchronized with the artifact's energy nodes. Pulses of ancient alien technology shot into the sky, meeting the energy beam with equal force. Light collided, shaking the very fabric of space, and for a tense moment, it seemed neither side would yield. Then, a surge of brilliance erupted. The alien beam faltered, breaking apart as humanity's defense struck with precision and intelligence. Ships in orbit cheered. Soldiers fired with renewed energy, and humans below witnessed the impossible. They had turned the alien strength against them. But victory was not yet certain. The main alien warship, massive beyond imagination, hovered above Earth. Its hull pulsed with deadly energy, and it sent waves of smaller ships to break human defenses. Lina realized they needed more than weapons. They needed strategy, courage, and unity. Split into 3 groups, Lina commanded. 1 to distract, 1 to strike, and 1 to protect the artifact. Timing is everything. Humans fight not just with weapons, but with brains. Commander Rajan led the strike team. They maneuvered through a storm of enemy ships, dodging energy pulses and debris. Pilots on the distraction team created illusions and false signals, drawing enemy fire away from critical positions. Meanwhile, Lina and Marco channeled the artifact's energy, preparing for the final move. The battle raged for hours. Explosions lit the night sky. Cities shook, and yet humanity endured. Every human on Earth felt the tension, the fear, the hope. They had faced extinction before, and they would not let it happen now. In a quiet moment, Lina spoke to Marco. "Do you see why the galaxy fears humans?" Marco nodded, eyes wide. "Because we survive. No matter what. We fight. We adapt. We endure." The alien council watched in disbelief. "They are more than expected," said the scaled alien. "Perhaps they are unstoppable." Finally, the strike team reached the main warship. It was massive, almost alive, and energy waves pulsed across its surface. Rajan took a deep breath. "We go in together. No mistakes. Humanity depends on this." They fired their weapons at precise points, exploiting weak nodes identified by the artifact. Energy shields shimmered and failed under the combined assault. Lina activated the final sequence, channeling every ounce of the artifact's power. A massive pulse erupted, engulfing the alien ship in brilliant white light. Silence. When the light faded, the warship was gone. Scattered alien ships retreated, energy shields failing, their formation broken. Humans had won the battle, not by overwhelming force, but by intelligence, courage, and resilience. On Earth, people cheered, tears streaming down faces. Survivors embraced, celebrating not just survival, but the triumph of human spirit. Lina stood with Marco, watching the remnants of the alien fleet retreat into the void. "We've done it," she whispered. "For now." But deep in the galaxy, the alien council convened again. The scaled aliens' eyes burned with frustration. They survive, always. How? The small, wiry alien's gaze was thoughtful, almost reverent. Because they are human, and humanity is meant to endure. Back on Earth, Lina knew the victory was temporary. The galaxy was vast, threats still lurked, and the artifact held secrets yet to be uncovered. But for now, humanity had shown the universe why every species feared them. They fought, they adapted, and they survived. As the sun rose over the battered but unbroken cities, Lina turned to Marco. "This is only the beginning. We have survived the first true test. But the universe has many more trials. And humans will meet them all." Above, in the stars, remnants of the alien fleet disappeared into the darkness. Somewhere, the council whispered again, a mix of fear and fascination in their voices. "They endure always. How do they do it?" And on Earth, humanity breathed, not in fear, but in triumph. They had faced extinction and survived once more. The story of human resilience had added another chapter, and the galaxy would never forget it. The artifact pulsed softly, a reminder of knowledge and power waiting to be unlocked. Lina smiled, knowing the hidden secrets of the past had secured the survival of the present. And perhaps the future. For humanity, this was more than victory. It was proof they would endure, against all odds, against all enemies, against the darkness of the galaxy itself. And somewhere, deep in the stars, the council realized it. Humans were not just survivors. They were something more, something unpredictable, something unstoppable. The final stand had been won, but humanity's journey, its trials, and its legend were just beginning. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. It really helps us grow and bring more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.